बोलिए श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की, जगतगुरु श्री कृपालु जी महाराज की. As a part of an extended Guru Purnima celebration, Jagadguru Kripalu Parishad has organized a whole month of lectures by the preachers, pracharaks of Jagadguru Kripalu Parishad that are being broadcast live internationally throughout this whole month up until Guru Purnima. So this evening we're broadcasting live from Jagadguru Kripalu Parishad's main ashram in the west, Radha Madham Dham in Austin, Texas in America. Prathamam Sadgurum Vande Shree Krishnan Tadanantaram Guru Papatmanam Tratam Shri Krishnas Tvamalatmanam Mannatha Shri Jagannatho Madguru Shri Jagadguru Madatma Sarvabhutatma Tasmai Shri Gurave Dhyanamoolam Guror Murti Pujamoolam Guror Padam Mantramoolam Guror Vakyam Bhaktimoolam Guror Kripa Yo Brahmanam Vidadhati Purvam Yo Vai Vedanscha Prahinoti Tasmai Tagmangha Devamatma Buddhi Prakasham Mumukchurvai Sharanamaham Prapadye. The Divine Souls, let us do a few minutes of Nam Sankirtan, and after that I'll explain the meaning of Guru Purnima by understanding what is the true relationship between Guru and disciple. Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda
Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda
Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda
Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda
Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda
Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda
Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda
Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda
Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda
Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda
Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda
Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda
Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda
Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda
Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda
Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda
Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda
Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda
Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda
Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda
Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda
Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda
Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda
Guru Govinda Govinda Guru Govinda.
Guru Govinda, Govinda, Guru Govinda. Guru Govinda, Govinda, Guru Govinda.
Govinda, Govinda, Guru Govinda.
Guru Govinda, Govinda, Guru Govinda. Guru Govinda, Govinda, Guru Govinda.
Govinda, Guru Govinda.
Guru Govinda, Govinda, Guru Govinda. Guru Govinda, Govinda, Guru Govinda.
Guru Govinda, Govinda, Guru Govinda. Guru Govinda, Govinda, Guru Govinda.
Guru Govinda, Govinda, Guru Govinda. Guru Govinda, Govinda, Guru Govinda.
Guru Govinda, Govinda, Guru Govinda. Guru Govinda, Govinda, Guru Govinda.
Guru Govinda, Govinda, Guru Govinda.
Guru Govinda, Govinda, Guru Govinda.
Guru Govinda, Govinda, Guru Govinda.
Guru Govinda, Govinda, Guru Govinda.
Guru Govinda, Govinda, Guru Govinda.
Guru Govinda, Govinda, Guru Govinda.
Guru Govinda, Govinda, Guru Govinda. Guru Govinda, Govinda, Guru Govinda.
Govinda, Govinda, Guru Govinda. Guru Govinda, Govinda, Guru Govinda.
Guru Govinda, Govinda, Guru Govinda. Guru Govinda, Govinda, Guru Govinda.
Govinda, Govinda, Guru Govinda. Guru Govinda, Govinda, Guru Govinda.
श्रीमत् सद्गुरु सरकार की As we celebrate Guru Purnima over this entire month, it's very important to understand the meaning of the guru-disciple relationship. What is a true guru? What is a true disciple? And what is the relationship between the two? Jagadguru Shree Kripalu Ji Maharaj, our Guruji, has clarified very specifically what is the relationship. He wrote one doha. Sat satya satya ho Govind Radhe Sang satya satya ho to Lakshya dilave. He explains that if the Guru is truly a divine Guru, he uses the word Sat. The word Sat has been used for saint, God-realized saint in our scriptures. So if the Sat, if the saint is Satya Satya, is truly genuine, and the soul does sang, associates correctly, faithfully with the saint. Sangha means association of our mind with the saint, faithful association. So So if the sang is also satya satya, then lakshya dilade. The soul attains their ultimate aim. It's very clear. The guru-disciple relationship is meant to end in the ultimate attainment for that soul. Ved tells us, Parikshya lokan karmachitan brahmano nirvedamayan nastya krita kritena tad vijnanartham sagurumeva bhigachet samitparni shrotriyam brahmanishtham. This Mayic world, even up to Swarg, has no perfect happiness. A soul cannot find their ultimate soul-desired happiness anywhere in this Mayic world, even up to Swarg. Great yogis have proven this. This is a mantra from Mundaka Upanishad. They have gone in their samadhi and visited Swarg in this very lifetime and have come back and reported that no, there is no true happiness over there in Swarg either. That's also just Mayic pleasures of the senses, further multiplied, but only Mayic. So if you want to attain divine happiness, you need to know God. And to know God, you have to surrender to such a saint who is a true saint, which is defined with two criteria in this mantra. The true saint must be Shrotriya and Brahmanisht. Shrotriya means knowledgeable in all the scriptures and spiritual philosophies, and of course able to make us understand the essence of that. And Brahmanisht means established in God. A true saint must have known God. Only then the saint has something to give, and if a soul associates faithfully with that saint, then they can receive what that saint has to give. The Gita says the same thing. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshyanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. If you want to know God, then surrender to a true saint who is Jnaninaha and Tattvadarshinaha, has total knowledge of all the spiritual philosophy, and Tattva meaning God, Darshinaha, having seen God. A true saint has met God face to face. That is the qualification to call someone a true guru. The Bhagavatam says the very same thing. Tasmad gurum prapadyeta jigyasu shreya uttamam shabde parecha nishnatam brahmanyu pashamashrayam. The Bhagavatam says the very same thing, that a true guru is Shabde Pare Nishnatam, has the total knowledge of the scriptures and is fully established in God, in God's knowledge, in God's bliss, is always with God. So the one who has Jigyasuhu Shreya Uttamam, who wants to know the ultimate, must prapadyeta, surrender to such a genuine saint. When I was seeking, before I had found my true guru, Shree Kripalu Ji Maharaj, I was seeking like all of us were. And I wanted to meet a saint, but I had no idea what a saint was because I hadn't been exposed to the true teachings of Sanatan Dharma. So I was wandering here and there, taking various classes, studying various things and looking. But I didn't even know what the ultimate goal was. I didn't know exactly what I was looking for, nor did I know exactly what a saint was. I remember being interested hearing about one saint. Oh, this saint lives in India and he does great miracles. He has siddhis. He can do this and he can do that. And I remember, oh, there are such people in the world. I was thinking, maybe I should go and meet that saint. But before I could go down that road, I got correct knowledge through Jagadguru Shree Kripalu Ji Maharaj, through his grace. A true guru clarifies all the doubts and confusions. You see, let us understand, first of all, how could someone recognize who is a true guru and who isn't? It's actually very simple. Grinati jnanam iti guruh, girati ajnanam iti guruh, gumrauti iti guruh. Ved says the word guru means the one who gives jnana, who gives true knowledge, who removes ajnana, ignorance, and who actually has the power to remove the effect of maya from a soul who is surrendered to them. That is the true guru. When we listen to the words of a God-realized saint speaking, these are not words based in theory. A great orator could memorize some verses of our scriptures, they could learn certain parts of the philosophy and they could present it to us in a very impressive way, but it wouldn't have the same internal impact in a seeker's heart. It's the difference between a gun that shoots real bullets and a gun that is loaded with blanks. The blanks make noise, but they have no effect. A true bullet can enter, pierce something. The words of a God-realized saint can enter the heart, piercing that Mayic ignorance and undoing the knot of spiritual confusions that all souls have before they meet a true saint. So there's power in the words of a saint, not in the way they string their words together. There's an inner power. If someone is not God-realized and they're lecturing on God, then it's like writing a check, but you have not even a penny in your bank account. You can write a check for $1 million and just hand them out. Go through all your checkbooks and hand out $1 million checks. They're of no value. So the words of someone who is not God-realized have no real value. They have no real impact in the heart of a seeker. But the words of a God-realized saint can enter the heart of that seeker, and all of a sudden it's like the light bulb goes off. Yasya sakshad bhagavati jnana deepaprade gurau. Bhagavatam says that the true guru, who is no less than God himself because he has received all of God's divine power, the true guru, jnana deepaprade gurau. The guru lights that flame of knowledge in the heart of the true seeker. So many of you sitting here would have experienced that listening to the lectures of Jagadguru Shree Kripalu Ji Maharaj. All of a sudden it was just like something made sense and you felt the reality of what was being explained to you on a completely different level. And this probably has happened over and over to you. So this is one of the ways that someone can recognize a true saint, that all of a sudden, all those things that seemed unexplainable become simple and you understand them. Things like, I'm sure before you met Sri Maharaji, many of you probably thought it was like a joke. Oh, what is the question, what is the meaning of life? It's like a joke, right? Because nobody really knows the answer. We just ask the question because it's our nature, but nobody knows the answer. No, the true Guru knows the answer. And it's so simple. The true goal of every soul is to attain God and therefore, thereby, actually experience unlimited, perfect happiness forever. That's the goal of life. That's why you received this human birth, so that you could pursue that goal. Oh, where did we come from? People think there's no answer to that either. But after listening to Kripaluji Maharaj's lectures, you would have understood we've always been here. We're as old as God. Maya is eternal, God is eternal, and we the souls are eternal. Why does the world exist? What is the point of this universe existing? There's no answer to that either, right? No. If you've listened to the lectures of Shree Kripaluji Maharaj, you've already understood that God reactivates Maya. Maya cycles through its phases of manifestation and dissolution. It's eternal, but it is dissolved periodically and then again re-energized, reactivated, and the universe is manifested. So why does God manifest this universe? To give the souls who were lying dormant during the period of dissolution the chance to become conscious, aware, active, take birth, receive a human birth in this world, learn about God, and attain their perfect divine happiness. There. Simple answers you can explain in 1 or 2 sentences. And here we thought these were impossible questions to answer. But the true Guru can answer these questions if someone is listening faithfully and they can understand, and all of a sudden life makes sense. This is the measure, this is one of the ways that we recognize a true Guru, that those words just enter our heart and something happens. Another way that we recognize the effect, the grace of a true Guru in our heart is that our attachment to Mayic things reduces. Our hankering for Mayic pleasures reduces. And our love for God increases. Attachment in the world reduces, attachment to God increases. This is also the effect of the grace of the Guru. If we are doing sang satya satyaho, if we are faithfully joining our heart and mind with the Guru, then love for God starts, well, Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnur, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. I prostrate myself to the Guru, who is Brahma. The Guru is the creator, because the Guru gives life to our love for God. The Guru makes that seed grow and blossom. The Guru lights the flame of love for God. Thus, the Guru is Brahma, the creator. The Guru is Vishnu, the protector, who protects that growing, budding love for God and further grows it. So I prostrate to that Guru who is Brahma, who is Vishnu, and who is Shankar, because Guru also destroys the effect of Maya and destroys the Mayic attachments of the surrendered soul. So Guru is Sakshat Bhagwan. The Bhagavatam says the same thing in a different way. Satam prasangan mama virya samvido bhavanti hrit karna rasayana katha Tajoshanadaashvapavargavartmani Shraddharatir bhakti ranukramishyati. See, the word sat came. Satam prasangat. Sang, the word sang also comes. Maharaj used those words in his doha. So here in the Bhagavatam, through the prasang, through total association of your mind and heart with the saint, with Sat, something happens. Shraddha is born in the heart. Shraddha means desire for God. Bhuk, hunger to know God. Simply by associating with a true saint, your desire to know God can be brought to life. Rati. Now you have, since you have the desire to know God, you have Shraddha. Now you also have the desire to do sadhana. You have the desire to follow the path to God. Just like if you feel hungry, you'll want to eat. So if you hunger for God, you will want to follow the path to God. That desire is also given life by the grace of the Guru. And bhakti. We begin to experience love for God, which is true bhakti, again, through associating with the Guru. So you see, the Guru has something to give, and we have to receive it. This is the Guru-disciple relationship. The Guru has what we want. Uttishthata jagrata prapyavaran nibodhata kathopanishad. O souls, awake, arise. Go to such a Guru who is prapya, who has attained God. Prapyavaran nibodhata. From such a God-realized saint, understand who is God, what is my relationship to God, and how can I attain God. So the Guru has that thing we want. And the Guru is also ready and willing, in fact, excited to give that to any soul. That is the whole reason why the Guru is here on earth. We have to receive it. The Guru doesn't charge for what he or she is giving. It's free. The Guru got it for free from his Guru. Why would he charge for it? But what did that Guru have to do to get it from his Guru? He had to surrender. He had to do sang. He had to fully associate with heart and mind with his Guru. Then his Guru gave him that thing. Divine bliss, divine knowledge. So having received that, the true Guru is looking for someone else to share it with. But we have to be qualified to receive it. It's a divine power. It's not something that can be signed over on a piece of paper. It's a divine power that has to be received in our antahakarana, in our heart. The heart is the receptacle to receive the divine bliss. But that divine bliss is unlimited. Unlimited potency cannot be received in an unfit vessel. Our vessel, our receptacle is mayic and it is impure. So we first have to purify our mind. How does it get purified? By following the path to God under the guidance and with the grace of a true Guru. And when it is purified, then what? Then Guru uses God's divine power, Swarup Shakti, to divinize, to make divine our heart, mind, senses. And into that divine antahakarana, he can give that divine bliss. But we have to follow the path to God as prescribed by the true saint. And if we do that, we gradually purify our mind. And as we're following the path, the Guru is helping us every step of the way, not only externally by answering our questions and being physically with us, but invisibly, internally, the Guru is gracing all of those souls who are faithfully thinking of him. And that grace grows our love for God and reduces our worldly attachments. The grace is the catalyst. The grace of the Guru is the only thing that results in our experiencing love for God. So from our side, we just have to receive. But to receive, we have to do something, because our heart is, well, yavat papaistu malinam hridayam tavadevahi nashastre satyata buddhi sadbuddhi sadgurau tatha brahma vaivar puran. An impure heart does not fully believe in the scriptures or in the divine saint. So although we are partly surrendered to our divine Guru, Shree Kripalu Ji Maharaj, but we have not been able to receive his ultimate grace and receive that divine thing he wants to give us, divine bliss. We haven't been able to receive it because we are not fully surrendered. Our heart and mind are not fully joined with our Guru, thus he is unable to give us that thing. He himself has explained this through such a clear analogy. He says that a powerhouse gives power, and the power is flowing. If you have built a house and you've connected to the wires that are connected to the powerhouse, and you've done all the wiring in your house, and you've installed all the fittings and switches and light bulbs, as soon as you make that connection to the powerhouse, the power flows and everything works. But if you haven't done any of the wiring and you haven't installed any of the fittings, and you ask for the power from the powerhouse will say, where should I give the power? I have nowhere to make that connection. So we have to do our work from our side. We have to make that connection with the Guru. Then, to whatever extent that connection is true, the Guru's grace is able to flow automatically. There's already a force of will from the Guru to grace us. So the grace flows automatically to the extent we make that connection. That's what I mean by the Guru has something to give and we have to receive. That is the Guru-disciple relationship. But we are not true disciples. We are not true shishya, because a true shishya is the one who has fully surrendered to the Guru and is ready to receive that divine gift. In other words, we are trying to become true shishya. We are trying to become a true disciple, but we are not there yet. So we are aspirants. We are spiritual aspirants who, with the help of our divine Guru, we will become true devotees of God and we will become true disciples of our Master one day. But back to the topic of recognizing. We can recognize a true Guru not by the way they dress, by their age, by their gender, by their lifestyle. Some people think a Guru has to be a sannyasi. It's not so. If you look at the history of all the saints and Gurus who are written about in our scriptures, like the Purana, and thus we know they are true saints, look at their history. 99% of them were grihasthi. They were not sannyasis. They were married with kids. So we cannot judge who is a saint by their external appearance, lifestyle, or behavior, but we can judge by their effect on us. Are they able to untie that knot of confusions? Through their grace is our Mayic attachment reducing and our love for God increasing. And our scriptures tell us one more way that we can recognize a true saint. Stambha svedo tharo mancha Swarabhedothave pathu Vaivarnyamashru pralaya ityashtau satvika smrita bhakti rasamrit sindhu. There are 8 main symptoms of divine love. They're called satvik bhav in Sanskrit. Ashta satvik bhav. What this means is that saint is in possession of that unlimited divine bliss, and that is being kept in his heart. And while the saint is living in the world, the saint somehow, with the power of God, is able to keep that unlimited ocean of bliss under control and behave normally in the world. The saint is not behaving naturally in the world. The saint is behaving normally in the world. The natural state of a saint is what Rupa Goswami described in this verse that I just chanted for you. To be exhibiting the physical symptoms of that inner ocean of unlimited bliss. Stambha. Sometimes let's say the saint is listening to the chanting of God's name, even by devotees, even by souls who are chanting God's name with love. The saint may enter into more of that state of naturality. And one of the signs of this is that the saint may become completely still, like a statue, like a pillar. Stambha. Swedaha. The saint may begin sweating profusely due to the effect inside of that, the unbelievable heat of that divine bliss. Romanch, the saint's hairs stand on end. Swarabhed, if the saint is singing God's divine names, then there may be a noticeable shift in the actual sound of the saint's voice. Vepathu, there may be trembling of the saint's body. Vaivarnya, the saint's complexion may change dramatically, suddenly. Ashru, tears may flow non-stop from the saint's eyes. And even pralay, the saint may lose consciousness. These are the 8 main symptoms of that inner divine love that the saint is concealing from the world, but which sometimes just boils over. Some of you may have had the good fortune of actually observing that in the behavior of Jagadguru Shree Kripalu Ji Maharaj. This is another way, according to our scriptures, that a true saint who has attained the divine love of Radha Krishna can be recognized. So you're getting the picture that there's no quick way to recognize a saint. You have to associate with this saint over time. You have to do sang. And then if the saint is truly sat, then you will receive these experiences. Your inner experiences of receiving divine knowledge, devotional knowledge, a devotional understanding of the divine knowledge, and an increase in your actual feelings of love for Radha Krishna, and a decrease in your attachment to the world. This happens over time, and this is how you recognize the grace of a saint, because these things could never happen to you otherwise. It's impossible. Someone could practice bhakti as they've read it or heard it described in the scriptures for lifetimes, and their worldly attachment would go on increasing. You know, you yourself may have experienced this, or you know someone who practices some form of devotion, and yet their worldly attachments keep on multiplying, and they feel no more hunger for God than they did in the beginning of their life, maybe less, in fact. The only way that these experiences, this inner transformation takes place is through the grace of the Guru. And there's no mistaking that. You cannot be fooled if you understand these are the only criteria for judging whether you've surrendered to a true saint or not. If your sang is not correct, then you can't receive the grace of even a true saint. But if your sang is correct, if you're genuinely associating with that saint, then you will receive the saint's grace. And over time, you'll be able to recognize these inner effects. And one day you may also be lucky enough to observe those ashtasattvic bhav in the body of a true saint. There are some things we can also keep in mind that could be tricky. In other words, there are things that people sometimes associate with a true saint, but in fact, if somebody is doing this, they are not a true saint. For example, a true saint doesn't give worldly ashirvad or boons, blessings. Many people, the great majority of people who go to a saint thinking that they'll get some material blessings for themselves, for their family. They'll have a child born to them, or they'll get the job they want, or get into the school they want to, or be cured of this or that. But the true saint says, in the words of Tulsidas Ji, Sukh ke mathe sil paro naam hi te jaya balihari va dukh ki jo pal pal naam rataye. Let that worldly possession or that worldly pleasure or that worldly happiness be destroyed that makes me forget God. If due to this worldly thing, I've been distracted from remembering my Shri Ram, then let that thing be taken from me. And that worldly suffering, those worldly difficulties that make me remember God are great. Balihari va dukh ki. I want those kinds of suffering. This is the attitude of a saint. Then why would a saint give us more worldly things to distract us from God? We're already distracted as it is. On top of that, the saint knows that our attainments in this world are governed by our past actions and the prarabdha that was given to us to undergo in this life. The saint is not going to interfere in that. So a true saint never says, oh yes, my child, you will have it. You came to me with this desire in your heart. Yes, I grant you this wish. I give you this blessing. The saint's blessings are, as I previously described, they're received internally, and through those blessings, your attachment in the world reduces and your attachment to God increases. Those are true divine blessings. So if someone is putting on such an act that they are granting these material boons or giving such blessings, you can understand that I need to stay away from this one. Kripalu Ji Maharaj has always told us that there's no need to confront or argue with such people, but quietly keep our distance. And of course, if you have already found your true guru, then there is no need to associate with even another true guru. When you have found the true guru, you only need one. But for those who are still seeking, you can avoid those people who pretend to give such worldly boons. If they are saying they'll give you a worldly boon, they don't have the power to do so. And if they won't give you a worldly boon, the divine saint has the power to give a worldly boon, but would not do it because it's against the philosophy and it would not help you. So the ones who are claiming to do it don't even have the power to do it. They're putting on an act to make you follow them. You also can cross that person off the list who says they're going to curse you. Some so-called gurus tell their followers that if you ever leave me, this bad thing is going to happen to you. This is actually a thing that happens in the world. And people are afraid, so they don't leave that so-called guru. True saints do not curse souls. the shrap, the curses that you read about or hear about through our scriptural stories are interactions amongst divine personalities. Saints giving shrap to other saints, or saints giving shrap even to God. As a part of a divine leela, these things happen, and these things actually cause the next step in that divine leela to take place, or something that is going to benefit all the souls on the earth is going to take place because of that shrap. So it's all a part of the divine leelas. But a God-realized saint does not give curses to ordinary souls. So if you hear of such a thing happening, you can also just stay away from that person. Such a person is not a true God-realized saint. This next one is a big one. Remember I told you when I was seeking, I had heard that, oh yes, such and such a saint can do this miracle, they have this siddhi, they have this power, maybe I should go try to meet them. Samadha vupasarga vyutthani siddhaya. Sage Patanjali says in his Yoga Darshan that even if someone has the true yogic siddhis, these are but obstacles on the path to God, and they are not to be entertained or used. A yogi is under Maya, and yet within our Mayic mind there are great, great powers that lie dormant. They can be awakened through certain processes. This is what happens on the path of Ashtanga Yoga. But these yogis are still under Maya. They haven't attained God, and they're awakening these inner latent powers. So, best case scenario, if somebody is claiming to have some powers, they have those powers. But what are they? They're Mayic powers. They have nothing to do with God. And if they are exhibiting those powers, making a show of it in public to impress people or attract followers, then they are bound to fall. Sometime soon they will fall. If they truly have yogic powers, the more they use them, the more they decrease. And those powers are not meant to be used in the first place. It's just a thing that happens. The power is awakened, it's a type of landmark so that yogi can judge or measure how much progress they've made. But if they have true guidance, they will never use such powers. But anyway, nowadays in Kali Yuga, in the world, finding such true yogis with the true yogic siddhis is almost impossible. There's almost nobody in the world today with such true yogic powers. Which means that the people claiming to have powers may just be deceiving you. They're illusionists. There are great so-called illusionists, magicians who perform in Las Vegas. They don't pretend to be gurus, but if they grew their hair, their beard in a stereotypical way and dressed in a stereotypical way and used these tricks they've learned, could they not attract a following and say, look, I have this power? Because they make things appear and disappear, but it's all an optical illusion. They get paid to do that on the stage, and people enjoy it because they can't figure out how it's done. But they know that this person doesn't have any special powers. But if this person dressed like this and looked like this and performed such tricks, people would follow them. Oh, this is a great guru. Or there's some other powers that are real powers. They're called bhoot siddhis. There's certain practices that allow someone to gain control over a spirit, and that person can use that spirit to display certain powers. But these are actually tamas powers and result in that person going to Narak, and their followers go with them to Narak. So the wise seeker stays away from those who are claiming to have powers or who are making an exhibition of such powers. A divine saint has God's power. So the true saint has real divine power, but doesn't show it in the world to attract a following. The true saint is not interested in impressing people with some kind of exhibition. The true saint wants to attract people who want to do the work required to follow the path to God. Because we have to do the work. That's enough. Okay, so if the so-called saint is giving material blessings, cross them off. Giving curses, cross them off. Exhibiting some kind of powers, cross them off. And the other thing is giving some kind of shortcut. Oh yes, I just gave you this mantra, so now you're my disciple, now you're guaranteed to go to the divine world after you die. Guruji, how will I know that that's going to happen? Will I see any progress in this life? No, don't worry about that. I gave you the mantra, now you'll go to the divine world. You'll see after death. This kind of thing happens a lot nowadays. So this is also just dhokha. It's a big deception. It doesn't work like this. We have to do the work. The Guru can't just give us some kind of shortcut. The Guru explains to us what the path is, and then we have to follow it. If the Guru or God could just give us God realization like that, then why go to the trouble of creating this world and producing the scriptures and coming here in the world to try to inspire us towards God? They could have just said, let everybody become God realized, and it would have happened in an instant. They don't do this. We have to do the work. Therefore, beware of such so-called saints and gurus who are giving shortcuts. Oh, just listen to the Bhagavatam recited for 7 days straight, you'll get a guaranteed entrance to the divine abode. Just recite the Ramayana akhanda, continuously until you finish it from beginning to end. 24-hour recitation, and you're guaranteed to go to the divine world. These types of shortcuts are being told in abundance nowadays, but they're all wrong. These types of practices are to help us develop love for God. It's not some kind of shortcut to guarantee our entrance to the divine world. So we can also stay away from those so-called gurus who are offering such shortcuts. Now you've understood that we can recognize who a true saint is if we associate with them sincerely. We will observe our own inner transformation due to the grace of that saint, and that is how we will recognize over time. We can also avoid the pitfalls by knowing 3 or 4 things that true saints do not do, and thus we can stay away from such people who do those things. With this clear knowledge, we can avoid those who are fake saints, and when we ever get the chance to associate with a true saint, we will know how to associate with them and what are we supposed to receive from them, and thus how we can recognize their divinity. Finding that true saint in the first place is not in our hands, but based upon our past devotions that we've done and our current longing to find God. Shri Krishna arranges it for us. Adau shraddha tatah sadhu sangotha bhajana kriya. Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu says, when the soul is ready, the Guru comes into his life. And then true devotion to God starts with the grace and guidance of that Guru, not before. So if you want to get the association of a true saint, you have to pray directly to Shri Krishna. And when you are ready, he will arrange for that meeting to happen. Then you have to apply all of this knowledge. Having met the true saint, one way or another, someone may have seen a flyer for one of Shree Maharaj's preacher's lectures, went to the lecture, liked something they heard, then heard about Shree Maharaj, so started watching his lectures on YouTube or TV. How did that flyer happen to be somewhere you would see it? Krishna arranged that for you. Or a friend said, hey, there's a satsang in this person's house. Why don't you come? And you went, and over there you heard one of Kripalu Maharaj's kirtan, and you were attracted, and then you read one of his books. So one way or another, Shri Krishna arranged for all of us to come to Shri Maharaj. So he graced us to meet the true saint. And then with the grace of that saint, we also understood how to associate with him. Shushrusho shraddadhanasya vasudeva katharuchi syan mahatsevaya vipra punyatirtha nishevanat. The Bhagavatam says that you have to serve the true saint. And then, because serving the saint means you're submitting yourself. It's a way of joining our mind with the saint. Gita said too, sevaya. You have to serve the saint in order to receive what they are giving. By serving the saint, you're not giving something to the saint. The serving the saint is the way of becoming surrendered so that you can receive what the saint is already trying to give. So when we serve a true saint, gradually the desire to know more about God and the divine philosophy, the desire to attain God, the desire to follow the path to God, the desire to hear the leelas of Radha Krishna, all of this one after another starts appearing in the heart due to the grace of the saint. All we have to do is begin associating with the saint, and the saint gradually purifies our heart and brings us along on this path. All we have to do is some effort to follow the saint's instructions for following the path to God. If we made serious effort, we would make very swift progress. But even some effort results in receiving the saint's grace. And with that saint's grace, we make progress. Our heart purifies. We become more surrendered. So then we try harder. And our progress in this way becomes more and more swift as we keep rising towards God. And in the end, with the grace of the Guru, we reach that state of Purna Sharanagati, complete surrender. And then the Guru graces us to receive a divine mind, and into that divine mind gives us the unlimited divine bliss. So in this way, you have understood the true relationship between the divine Guru and the faithful aspirant. And you've understood how to celebrate Guru Purnima. Guru Purnima is celebrated truly when we truly, completely surrender to the Guru. So that should be our goal, and we should strive to increase our surrender and complete it in this lifetime. Boliye Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki. So we'll finish with a few minutes of kirtan. Jayati Guruvar, Jayati Guruvar, Jayati Guruvar Pyare, Jayati Guruvar, Jayati Guruvar, Jayati Guruvar Pyare, Jayati Guruvar Pyare. Jayati Guruvar, Jayati Guruvar, जयति गुरुवर जयति गुरुवर जयति गुरुवर प्यारे जयति गुरुवर जयति गुरुवर जयति गुरुवर प्यारे जयति गुरुवर प्यारे
जयति गुरुवर जयति गुरुवर जयति गुरुवर प्यारे जयति गुरुवर जयति गुरुवर जयति गुरुवर प्यारे जयति गुरुवर प्यारे
जयति गुरुवर जयति गुरुवर जयति गुरुवर प्यारे जयति गुरुवर जयति गुरुवर जयति गुरुवर प्यारे जयति गुरुवर प्यारे
जयति गुरुवर जयति गुरुवर जयति गुरुवर प्यारे जयति गुरुवर जयति गुरुवर जयति गुरुवर प्यारे जयति गुरुवर प्यारे।
बोलो श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जगद्गुरु श्री कृपालु जी महाराज की श्री भक्ति धाम की श्री राधा माधव धाम की जय जय श्री राधे जय जय श्री राधे जय जय श्री राधे।